And welcome to the stream. Today we're going to be talking about Texas wildlife, herping, future video ideas, the behind the scenes and like me filming for YouTube and whatnot, and anything else I want to talk about. If you got any questions, so yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment and I will respond to the best of my ability. Right now we are watching my 20-gallon long Neolamprologus multifasciatus? Not good with pronouncing scientific names. Multicichlids. These are a dwarf species of cichlid from Lake Tanganyika in Africa. There's 6 adults in here that you can see popping all over the tank, and they're one of my favorite fish because as you can see, there's probably 40 or 50 shells in here, and they will pull the shells together and dig up the sand and make nests of the shells and live and breed out of them, which is why they're called shell dweller cichlids. We might get to see, I don't know if y'all, oh yeah, you can see it right there. There's a little baby. They're definitely breeding and making babies right now. Um, but yeah, they're one of my favorite fish, and I figured this would be the perfect backdrop to do my first Q&A on. So yeah, my most recent video that came out today is the Texas. I'm bad with my titles. I don't remember the exact title. The creek hiking for wildlife, giant snapping turtle, snakes, and more. And that was a pretty fun trip. Uh, I hiked. I got out there. What day was that I hiked? I think it was a Monday. No, it was a Wednesday morning. Last Wednesday, I went out and hiked and got out there decently early, like about 7:30, I think 7:45. I actually thought I was late, but it obviously didn't matter because I found so much wildlife that trip. There was the red ear sliders that we saw that were melanistic. I actually caught one and misidentified it as a Texas river cooter, but it was just a melanistic red ear slider, something I was very unfamiliar with. The just humongous common snapping turtle that I caught. That thing was huge, the biggest I've ever seen. Um, and then what else did we see? We saw the green heron. I didn't get great footage of it. It is in the video, but there was a green heron in the creek bed that was making a ruckus. I think there's one clip where you could hear it, and it's just screaming and squawking. And I was so confused on why a green heron was going so crazy. And it ended up that I don't know if it was connected, but there was a hawk. I think it was either a red-shouldered hawk or a red-tailed hawk, but it swooped down, and so it like swooped down, and the green heron like dove to the right, and I think the hawk was hunting the green heron, and that's why it was screaming and making all that noise. It was a pretty cool interaction to see. And then there were just green anoles everywhere. I saw so many more green anoles than I filmed. I filmed probably 3 or 4 of them, uh, but there were dozens. A sad one that I didn't wanna include in the video, I think for pretty obvious reasons. I could have blurred it, but I felt like it would bring the mood of the video down, but it is the reality when you get out there in the field and hike creeks and whatnot. I found in a stream, its shell was still wrinkly, and it looked like a very fresh, like neonate hatchling, spiny softshell turtle. It was probably only like slightly over an inch long. It was a really small little baby spiny softshell, and it was dead in the creek. That was pretty sad to see. But I mean, that's part of life. I'm not sure exactly what would have killed it. It didn't have any wounds. It was just floating dead in the water. But we'll see. We'll find a live one of them one of these days. I know that I've seen around here. A friend of mine Snapchatted me and showed me a video where he was working at an apartment complex, and there was a creek that went through the apartment complex, and he saw a big adult female spiny softshell digging holes and laying eggs. And that was probably a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. So I know here in a few weeks, we'd be more likely to start seeing baby turtles around in the creeks. So if I go on another creek hiking adventure, um, maybe we'll find some baby turtles. I feel like that's just so awesome to see on video on a herping vlog, is when somebody finds a cute little tiny baby turtle. I would love to find a little baby soft shell again. Those are so cute. But yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see. And then what else did I see on that video that I didn't film, or maybe that I did film? Um, this is such a shaky stand. I gotta get a better tripod. There's a green heron, the green anoles. Oh, I saw some. I mean, I've had them in I think 2 or 3 of my videos, but they're such beautiful fish. They're the only cichlid species native to Texas. They're the Rio Grande cichlid or the Texas cichlid. I saw a pair of those, just beautiful cichlids, big ones, probably about 4 or 5 inches long. And it was a male that was mad, and I think it was long-eared sunfish that were coming to mess with it and come into its nest, and it was fighting them off and chasing them away. Watching fish behavior is just so fun. I mean, you see the same kind of behavior in here, with the different, because I think there's probably 2 or 3 different breeding groups of these cichlids in here. So yeah, I saw those Texas cichlids. That was cool. And then lots of I just mentioned it, lots of the long-eared sunfish. Those are super common in a lot of the creeks around here. I always see long-eared sunfish. And I saw a huge bass that I just wasn't able to film, but that was in my video before last. The I thought this creek was dead. I was wrong. There's a cool clip in that video where I walked up to the river, the North St. Gabriel, and I panned the camera down, and there were just probably 4 or 5 massive bass swimming through the water. So I saw some bass. What else did I see? Trying to think of cool things that I wasn't able to film, or that I didn't, or just couldn't make it into the video. Oh, one really cool bug that I saw was I think it's pronounced the American Dobson fly. That sounds right. And it was the larva stage, flipping rocks there in the creek bed. They're nicknamed hellgrammites. I found a couple hellgrammites, and they were just dark, and it was mossy, and they like quickly darted into like under smaller rocks into the moss, and I just couldn't get good footage of them, and I felt like it was just not great. I'll get better footage of them later, at a different time, and they didn't add much. But yeah, those they're scary looking because they look like almost sort of like centipedes with big beetle faces with huge pincers. They're really creepy looking, and they can bite you, and it does hurt. So I was not picking them up. And then the Walnut Creek, I talk about it in that video. The Walnut Creek that I hiked through, majority of it, I was super surprised. Uh, the creek itself was super low. In sections, it was just bone dry, and there was no water running through it. And a lot of the clips in that last video, uh, when there's water in the creek and I'm in a smaller, thinner creek, that's one of the branches, the Wells branch of Walnut Creek. Walnut Creek itself, only in a like one area and probably about 2 or 3 minutes of the footage, where the snapping turtle was. That was Walnut Creek. And there was good water further downstream, but for a lot of it, it was just bone dry, which really surprised me because we had all that rain and flooding just a few weeks ago. And I remember when I went to high school down here years ago, and I would hike Walnut Creek all the time. I don't remember Walnut Creek ever being like dry like that. I remember it getting low, but never bone dry. So that was kind of surprising to me. And oh yes, that didn't make it in the video. I just remembered because there were people hiking with a dog, and the dog ran up and scared it, and I got so upset. It was when the creek was drying up, and I walked up on a pool in the middle of the creek bed, and it was a pool that was drying up, so it was just jam-packed full of minnows, and the pool had, like, it was like where the water had washed out a hole into the limestone, so there was, like, a ledge that came over the pool with a crack that went up into the limestone, and sitting in that ledge was a young, little plain-bellied water snake, and he was just there having his all-you-can-eat buffet because that pool was just full of minnows, and he was sitting there hunting and eating the minnows. And I walked up, and he either didn't care that I was there or didn't know that I was there because he just kept his hunting behavior and didn't like dart away or act scared of me. And I was like, dude, this is gonna be the coolest footage. And then right when I took a knee and pulled my iPhone out to get like B-roll of it, an elderly couple walked down with a dog, and the dog ran straight to the pool, scared all the fish, scared the snake, and I was like, wow, perfect, wonderful. So unfortunately, I missed that. That would have been really neat. But at least I could talk about it in here. That is a really cool thing that you'll see as the creeks dry up. There will be pools where fish get trapped, and then other animals can take advantage of that. And that water snake, I'm sure, wasn't the only animal that was taking advantage of the trapped fish. I'm sure at night, possums and raccoons and maybe skunks even would go down there and catch and eat the fish out of it. Um, Other snakes, other than water snakes, would come. I mean, anything that eats fish would be going down there to that little pond to eat or pool to eat those fish. So that was pretty neat to see, even if a dog did ruin the shot. And then there was the water snake. I mean, not the water snake, the red stripe ribbon snake. The little guy, he was feisty and he went crazy when I caught him. That was fun. And the Hellgrammites and the plain-bellied water snakes. I didn't see any diamondback water snakes that trip, which was pretty surprising because I feel like every time I hike any creeks around here where there's water snakes, I always see both native water snake species we have here in Central Texas and Austin, which is the plain-bellied water snake, the Nerodia ethrogaster, and then the diamondback water snake, the Nerodia rhombifer. Those are the two native species we have here in Austin, and I didn't see any diamondback water snakes that trip, just plain-bellied. And I saw a lot of plain-bellied water snakes. I saw, what was that? The one eating the fish, the two at the end, um, the one that got away from me that made me mad. I feel like there was another. I feel like I saw 4 or 5 when I was out there. So, yeah, that was fun. And um, going forward, I'll give y'all a little teaser and plans for my channel. I've got a lot of ideas. I'm thinking that, of course, I'll stick with the herping vlog style, and that won't be exclusively. I know for because of the time of year and just my lack of access to good areas, really just because of the weather. I mean, I can go out to good spots to flip rocks or go on other types of herping vlogs, but for the time being with the weather and what I know produces animals, most of my herping vlogs have been like creek hiking because you'll find water snakes and turtles and fish and birds and all kinds of animals. So I know that like creek hiking vlogs are going to produce wildlife for sure. Um, but going forward, I'll have my herping vlog content, which won't be exclusive to creek hiking. Eventually, I have property in South Texas. I'll be laying tin on my property and boards. So I'll be able to make herping vlogs of flipping cover and on my property in South Texas. That'll be fun because there's a lot of cool species down there in South Texas where my property is that we could find broad-banded water snake or broad-banded copperheads. Broad-banded water snakes are down there, but I doubt we'd find any undercover. There's not a lot of water nearby. Um, Speckled king snakes, prairie king snakes, rattlesnakes, western diamondback rattlesnakes, mud snakes, that would be a rare one, but mud snakes would be cool. Coral snakes, Texas rat snakes, or western rat snakes. So many different species. They go on and on and on. A rare one, the Slewinski's corn snake. Finding that one would be crazy. That's a very rare snake that can be found in the south and southeastern part of the state here in Texas. It's the only corn snake species native to Texas, and it's very rare. I caught one back in 2015, 2016, I think it was. It's on my Instagram. I had a good camera at the time, luckily, and I kept it overnight to get some really good photographs of it, and then I went and released it back where I found it. And that the Slewinski's corn snake is just a beautiful snake. They're so cool looking. So if y'all want to head over to my Instagram, the Hill Country Naturalist, and you'd have to scroll way down to like 10 years ago, but it's on there. And that's a cool snake that could be found down there. But yeah, there's just a lot of things that could be found with like a herping vlog of flipping cover in South Texas. So that's definitely going to be a future idea for the channel. And then like my frog video, the searching for frogs after a Texas rainstorm, that's very much not vlog style. That's more like mini documentary. It's like a 7-minute long video, heavy editing. Took me like 2 weeks to edit that video. And that'll be the other main pillar, if you will, for my channel. And I've got a lot of really cool documentary ideas, like if you want to call it that, for my channel. A video of the secretive life of Texas box turtles. We have two native box turtle species here, the three-toed box turtle and the ornate box turtle. And unfortunately, due to habitat loss um, and invasive species, the both species, the three-toed box turtle and the ornate box turtle, have declined quite a bit. They're difficult to find. So if I found both of them, that would be ideal. That would be really cool. But I'll definitely keep searching, and the best time to look for those would be early spring or fall. So this fall, I'll definitely head out to some habitats that I think might have them and see if we can find any. And then that'll be a really cool video of the secretive life of Texas box turtles. Because the ornate box turtle specifically is just a beautiful turtle. Um, And then there's some other ideas I have of like what wildlife is living in your backyard, a more documentary style video of the kind of wildlife that can be found in the average backyard, like green anoles and green tree frogs and Decay's brown snake and earth snakes and the invasive Mediterranean gecko. That one will be really fun. That's one I'm actively like writing and filming right now. So that one will probably come out sooner rather than later. And then venomous snakes, are they as dangerous as people say? That one will be pretty fun. Um, basically, film and address the four big venomous snake species we have here in Texas. There's subspecies of most of them, but it would be like the coral snake, the rattlesnake, the cottonmouth or water moccasin, um, and then the copperhead. And talk about all of them, talk about the common myths, like how cottonmouths don't chase you, rattlesnakes won't always rattle, copperheads don't smell like cucumbers, which is a recent one I found out, which is so odd to me. I'll address that right now. Apparently, that's a common like myth, if you will, that copperheads, if you're hiking through the woods and you smell cucumbers, you need to be careful because that means a copperhead is around because copperheads smell like cucumbers. That is insane. I don't know who started that or where that came from, and it's not true at all. Copperheads do not smell like cucumbers. But yeah, address the myths. And I mean, of course, venomous snakes are very dangerous. If you're not good at identifying snakes and you think you've come across one that could be venomous, definitely stay away from it. Keep your distance because people can and have died from venomous snake bites. But more so, talk about how, like, they're just part of the ecosystem. Venomous snakes have a place in nature, just like all the other animals. And it's sad to see all on Facebook and public and from different people talking about this like vendetta and hatred that people have for venomous snakes. They're not out to get you. They don't chase you. If you leave them alone, they're going to leave you alone. They're just trying to go about and find food and shelter and a mate, whatever they're actively doing at the time that they're found. So yeah, that's what the video will be about addressing, hopefully to dispel the myths and the fear and hatred of venomous snakes and snakes in general. So that one is a much larger project because I will ideally want to film a lot of content of all four of the species and maybe even subspecies because there's a lot of different rattlesnake subspecies in Texas and two or three, I think, different copperhead species in Texas. Um, and I want to get good footage of all of them. So that one will be a quite a ways off. Um, And then what else do I have a whole sheet and like multiple different notes pages on Notion of my planning for all of these. Another fun one, which will be sooner, hopefully, rather than later, which would be uh, what is it? I'm working on the title. I don't know what the title would be. It would be something along the lines of I found a saltwater crab in this Texas stream, something along the lines of that. Uh, it'll be pretty neat. There's a stream down in South Texas that is I think it's a river. It's the Lavaca River. Yeah, it's a river. And um it the Lavaca River connects to the bay and then out to the ocean. So when I was hiking the Lavaca River years ago, it blew me away because I found blue crabs, saltwater blue crabs in the Lavaca River, which the point in the river that I was at was freshwater. So that was like a really like big surprise for me when I was hiking that they were upstream. And I mean, it makes sense that they would swim upstream. Um, but yeah, that'll be a really fun video because hiking, and it'll be just like a hiking the Lavaca River, and there's a lot of cool wildlife that could be found in it. All the turtle species, of course, snapping turtles, soft shells, red ear sliders, the blue crab, which would be kind of like the star of the video, and then snake species, which I haven't been able to feature on my channel yet, which would be the broad-banded water snake, which I think is might be biased here. Hey, sick fish tank. Thank you. I definitely really like this fish tank. Little flex here. Not all of the shells, like not that's just an escargot shell, and there's a few other escargot shells in here. But most of the shells in this tank, I actually imported from Africa, and they are the shells that are found in Lake Tanganyika that these fish live in. So yeah, this is my Tanganyikan biotope aquarium. It's got crushed coral sand, sand that's real similar to the lake. The rocks aren't exact. The rocks in Lake Tanganyika aren't limestone. These are limestone rocks, but they buffer the water and make the water quality more similar to Lake Tanganyika. So while it's not a true biotope, it's a better environment for the fish. So, and as y'all can see, I mean, they're just thriving. They're fighting with each other and making their nests and breeding. I could just sit here and watch these fish all day. It's so fun. Anyways, where was I? The fish tank comment threw me off. The Lavaca River, the video. Oh, I remember where I was. The snake. Yeah, there's a snake species that's found in like the eastern and southern part of Texas that isn't found here in central Texas, and that's the broad-banded water snake. Which I might be biased from finding them and being blown away because I mean I feel like compared to the diamondback water snake and the plain-bellied water snake, it is a prettier snake. They have these dark brown, chocolatey colored bands, thick bands with contrasted by these like fiery orange and yellow and red bands. They're such cool looking water snakes. If y'all get a chance and you're curious, Google broad banded water snake or head to my Instagram because I do have photographs of old photographs of ones I found. They're beautiful, beautiful snakes. So I'm looking forward when I head down to South Texas to finding some and featuring them on the channel. Um, so yeah, that would be a cool thing of hiking the Lavaca River, finding that snake and featuring a new snake on the channel. So what else? There's mud snakes that could be found down there. Those aren't. There's a lot of different snake species that could be found down there in that river that aren't found here in Central Texas, as well as the fact it'll be visually very contrasting to the rivers and creeks here in Austin, because here in not even Austin, just Central Texas, most of the creeks and rivers are just like limestone creek beds with gravel and rocks. The Lavaca River is a nice, smooth, sandy bottom creek with big oak trees and trees hanging over, so it looks very different than the creeks up here. But so there's that one. If there's anyone out there that is a big fan of birds, I have a pretty cool documentary style video I've been planning that I need to get out and start filming, which is going to be on just the coolest bird sanctuary Honestly, one of the coolest in Texas, I think. It's the Hornsby Bend Bird Sanctuary, located in Southeast Austin. And the title of that video is going to be something along the lines of how this water treatment facility became a bird paradise. And it's got Hornsby Bend has such a cool history because it was originally it still is to this day. It's still operating. But it was originally made as a water treatment facility for gray water. I think they call it gray water, like wastewater. And they created all these processing pools for the cleaned water, and it became uh, like a bird sanctuary because of the location of it being on the Colorado River and geographically exactly where it was. It just attracted like most migratory birds that fly through the area. So you'll see all of these different duck species and hawks and birds and purple martins. And wow, they're fighting back there. They're mad. Um, and it's just such a cool spot. And it might feature some turtles and snakes because I know on iNaturalist, um, there's been a lot of snakes and turtle IDs in the Hornsby Bend area. So depending on what I find out there, uh, it'll be a bird focused episode for sure, because I'll mainly be focusing on the fact that Hornsby Bend it was turned into a bird sanctuary. But who knows? Like if there's rocks I can flip or cover I could flip out there, or I find any turtles on the bank or anything, it'll have some reptiles in it, but it'll definitely be more bird focused. So that'll be a super fun one. Uh, any plans on making a video dedicated to fish species? Kind of. Actually, yeah, that's a good question. So, nothing in particular, like no concrete plans other than one like loose plan. Uh, Another documentary style video that I have in my notes that I would love to make would be on the red drum or the redfish. I don't know how many of y'all would be familiar with it, but it's a game fish that's caught on the Texas coast and other coasts. I know they're even caught in like North Carolina and Florida and other areas, but here in Texas, they're caught down on the coast, and it would be talking about the formation of the CCA, or the Coastal Conservation Association, and how I have the information fuzzy. I'm loose on the information. I believe the way it went is they sued the U.S. government or the Texas government. Don't remember exactly how it panned out. I'll have the research obviously thought out for the video, but if it wasn't for the CCA and the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department, people wouldn't be catching redfish today. So the video will be about the Texas marsh lands, the salt marshes in South Texas on the coast, and the environment that these redfish, red drums thrive in, and talking about the red drum. So it'll be like some POV fishing content because that'll probably be the easiest way to get some red drum to show off for the camera. Would be to catch one and talk about what the CCA does and what they did for the coast and the environment and the redfish or the red drum, and how the Texas Parks and Wildlife became involved, and why there is, since it is a game fish that people catch and eat, why there's size limits, why there's the keeping limits, how you're only allowed a certain amount per day and a certain length, and why those rules are in place, all of that. So yeah, to wrap that question up, yes, I do have plans for a fish species specific video. It'll be on the marshlands and the red drum in South Texas. But that's a good question, good comment. There are a lot of different angles I could take a video dedicated to fish. Because I mean, I touched on it earlier in the stream. Texas has a native cichlid species. They have the Texas cichlid, so I could do a video featured on them. Talk about how when the males grow up, they get the big I don't know what it has a name, I forget the name. The big, like, bulge on their forehead, the lump on their forehead. They get that, and how their colors can change, like, really drastically. When they're little, they're just, like, shiny silver with black stripes with a tiny black dot on the middle of their body, And as they get older, they can almost turn like half and half, where the front half of their body is almost silvery white and the back half of their body is just black. And then when they get really big, they can just turn super dark with these really pretty speckledy blue and green iridescent dots all over them. They're really cool fish, so they definitely are interesting enough, and there's enough there to make a video dedicated to the Texas cichlid. So that was a good comment. That could definitely be a video in the future. And yeah, trying to think of anything else. I think that I talked about everything that I wanted to address in this live. So I unfortunately started it a little later. I wanted to start it at 7. I don't think I got it going till about 8 o'clock, at least my time. Wow, look at these guys. These guys are cool. Like I talked about, they'll just pick up. There's a guy off screen here who's just picking up sand and rocks and moving it out of his nest. They're so cool how they'll reform a tank. I mean, y'all can see how much sand has been piled up on this side and then on that side. So it's kind of like a valley here in the middle. When I set up this tank, the sand was perfectly level across the bottom. So this huge valley of sand here on the left and there, and then all the scoops in the sand for where their nests are. They did all of that. They're little landscapers. So let's get a close up of these guys. There we go. Yeah. Um, but yeah, that was about all I wanted to talk about. We don't have any more questions. I think we're gonna wrap things up. What's your favorite fish species you've kept? That is a very tough question. What is my favorite? I've kept a lot of Tanganyikan cichlids. I've kept some tropical fish. I've kept betta fish. Oh man. Um, what is my favorite fish species? Might be biased because I'm currently keeping them, but a cichlid fish species that I've kept that I just absolutely love is the transcriptus, the Juliidochromys transcriptus. That is another Tanganyikan cichlid. I have a big 75-gallon Tanganyikan tank in my dining room, and I have a little group of those guys that are breeding in it. And the Juliidochromys transcriptus are just so personable and fun. They're considered a dwarf species of cichlid, max size. They only get about 4 inches. Those are definitely my favorite cichlids, I think. So, yeah, thanks for the question. I do like talking. I'm not talking about Texas wildlife. I do like talking about keeping fish. So, but yeah, I've got some things to do. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed this live. Might or might not be more lives in the future. It kind of just depends. But yeah, thanks for watching, everybody, and keep an eye out for more shorts and videos in the future. I'll catch y'all later.